Democrats who want to focus on the midterms are reportedly fuming over former First Lady Jill Biden's book tour as she delivers a play-by-play campaign of the 2024 race, including former President Joe Biden's disastrous debate performance.
Madeline Rivera is live in Washington with all the details. Hi, Maddie.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. That's right. Former First Lady Jill Biden's new book is coming under a lot of scrutiny for some nuggets that she shared. For one, she says she was frightened by former President Joe Biden's debate performance in 2024 and thought he might have been having a stroke or that he was drugged. But at the time, she defended her husband's debate performance, his team chalking up his stumbles to a cold. Democrats are reportedly angry that the former First Lady is bringing up these old wounds as they try to win back Congress. One Democrat who worked as a senior aide in the Biden era tells the New York Post, "I think Jill Biden must have had a stroke herself to think that her husband was up to the job." Still, she insists her husband was not in cognitive decline, even as she admits he was slowing down.
Did you ever see signs that he was falling into cognitive decline?
No.
People were saying he wasn't the same Joe Biden.
Well, I don't think that's true. He was the essence of the same Joe Biden. But yeah, he was slowing down. He was getting older. I mean, we all observe that. When you know, it's a very intense job. I think it ages you quickly.
Jill also says she disagreed with former President Biden's initial refusal to pardon their son, Hunter. Per an excerpt obtained by the Associated Press, she wrote, "In the end, it felt like in working so hard to be impartial, we guaranteed that Hunter would meet the worst possible legal fate. Joe might have gone too far, in my opinion, to show that his family was being treated with complete impartiality." Jill also shares she was fired from Northern Virginia Community College in 2023 after the grant used to pay her salary dried up. Ultimately, though, the issue was resolved and she kept her teaching position until she left in December 2024. Carly and Todd.
Maddie, thank you. Let's bring in senior writer for the Washington Examiner and Fox News contributor Joe Concha. And Joe, there are a lot of angles to take on this story, but there's one that seems to rise above all else, and I'm going to repeat it here. If you think your husband has had a stroke, you immediately head to the hospital. You don't immediately head to a Waffle House. Why is she doing this, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, after that debate, she did go to Waffle House with her husband. Obviously, syrup, butter, waffles, probably not great for the heart at that point. And guys, look, the Bidens are worth somewhere around $10 million. You could draw your own conclusions as to why that is. So why write a book if you're Dr. Jill Biden and air all this laundry that she's talking about now? She disagrees with Hunter Biden being pardoned. Well, all right, take that up with your husband privately. You got to put that in a book so you could sell a couple more copies. And also, zero people not named Biden are buying Jill Biden's contention that what happened at that debate was a one-off in terms of his brain turning to mashed potatoes for the world to see. His cognitive decline was apparent for years, dating all the way back to the 2020 campaign to that point. And again, look, if she is going to lead a chant of 4 more years at the Waffle House like she did after that debate, while praising her husband for answering every question perfectly, she was willing to put her husband, who clearly she was worried about either having a stroke or going through this cognitive decline, she wanted him back in there until 2029 because she really, really wanted to be First Lady and all the power and prestige that goes with that, and was willing to just basically allow her husband to be in the most stressful job in the world when clearly he needed to retire at that point. So I can't imagine a worse spouse that you could think of in this country right now. But there's Jill Biden, and I can't imagine any Democrat or Republican buying this book when it goes on sale next week, because it just shows that she is somebody who was only interested in her own power instead of the welfare of her husband, Carly.
And as you might imagine, Joe, quickly, Democrats not happy with this as they head into midterms. They want the focus to be on all the issues. They do not want the focus to be on this. So they are not happy
one
with
Democrat
this,
operative said that they needed this news cycle, like somebody needs a hole in their head. So, yeah, not happy to say the least. And, you know, I feel like this is the First Lady trying to restore some of her own legacy in a way. And by continuously lying and in sort of different ways, depending on what she's saying. It feels like she's only making things worse for herself. But, Joe, we also want to get to this because late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel took on Spencer Pratt and his L.A. mayoral campaign last night. Listen to what he had to say.
His profession is to be the screaming jerk on reality shows. Mayor should not be your first job. The mayor of L.A. is in charge of a $14 billion annual budget. Spencer Pratt is not the person who should be in charge of it.
You know, when I watch this, no shock that he's criticizing Spencer Pratt. And in a way, it's sort of good for Pratt because it's like clearly he's getting the attention that he needs to really potentially shake things up here.
Absolutely, Carly. And you watch these monologues and you don't laugh. I mean, that's kind of the point. That's what Jimmy Kimmel gets paid millions of dollars to do. Instead, it's these screeds saying that, well, Spencer Pratt should be in charge of Los Angeles, so Karen Bass, who's at 25% approval, should. Kimmel lives in a gated community, by the way, multi-million-dollar mansion in Los Angeles. He's an elitist who is among those 17,000 people who saw their homes either badly damaged or burned to the ground during those wildfires months ago. And the fact that he is so reflexively anti-anyone who doesn't have a D next to their name shows he has no courage or moral compass. At least Bill Maher, who lives in Los Angeles, is willing to call Democrats like Karen Bass out. And Spencer Pratt is running on four very simple issues, guys. He wants people's homes to be rebuilt much faster than is happening now. He wants the homeless problem and that crisis, it's not even a problem, it's a crisis, to be addressed the right way. He wants all those addicted to drugs to get the help that they need. And he wants rampant fraud and abuse to cease to exist. And oh, by the way, he wants parks to have more kids playing in it again than needles to step on, as is the current situation now. Jimmy Kimmel, for whatever reason, has a big problem with that because he is for the status quo and he doesn't feel all these problems because of all the millions that Disney pays him to be shielded from that. It's really that simple. And to watch this show and these monologues to go on and on about Spencer Pratt, the guy is supposed to be an entertainer and give us escapism at 11:35 at night, and now it's a bad version of MSNBC meets CNN. It's really that simple.
Yeah, and the Los Angeles Times latest polling shows Karen Bass still in first, Nithya Raman in second, Spencer Pratt in third, all very close poll numbers. So this isn't over until it's over. We will soon find out what happens because the election's next week, but he is certainly sparking a lot of conversations that many people in LA feel like are desperately needed to be had. Joe, thank you so much for joining us.